Hey, what's up? Welcome to episode 6 of Making a Bing Bot. And in this episode, we're going to turn our code for search into a function and use our sign in, search, and sign out functions to let our bot log in, make some searches, and then log out. Full functionality. And so sorry if the way I sound today is a little different in this episode. My earbuds recently ended up in the washing machine, and I've been using those same earbuds as my microphone for all the previous episodes. So today I'm using a different pair of earbuds, so it might sound different. And to top that off, my wisdom teeth just got removed yesterday, so my mouth is feeling a little stiff, and I'm wearing retainers, so my mouth is not in the best shape right now. But I got a fun fact for you guys, and I'm pretty sure that the dentist who extracted my wisdom teeth's brother is Fousey Tubes. They look exactly the same, talk exactly the same. I swear to God, like they're related. And anyhow, let's get right into it and take a look at our goals for today. So I made a text file called goals.txt, and the first thing we're going to do today is we're going to create a search function. Straightforward. So one thing that you'll notice that's different from the last episode is here I've labeled where our main code starts. And you'll notice that functions won't run by themselves based on what we saw in the last episode. And to get functions to run, we need to call them in our main code like we did in the last episode with sign in and sign out. So now we're going to make another function and we're going to call this function search. So here after sign out, we're going to say def search, and in this function we want to be able to recycle the code we wrote for searching things on Bing and be able to call it each time we want to search for something new. And to do this, all we have to do is just take what we had before and put it inside our function. So I'm going to uncomment this code, and this is actually extra. Let me delete it. And to uncomment code or comment code in a text editor, all you have to do is press Control / if you're on like a Mac or a Linux, and if you're using like a Mac keyboard, it's Command /. So I'm going to copy this, or actually I'm going to cut this. I'm going to put it in search. So right now our search function will go to bing.com, and then it's going to search for these three items using this loop. And this is actually not the best because we don't want our search function to only be able to look for those three phrases. And if we do that, Bing might start to realize this guy is going through all these accounts looking for the same thing. This guy is definitely botting. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to search for something different every single time we call search. And let me show you what I mean. So before when we did the sign-in function, our sign-in function takes in three parameters. Browser, which tells our function what a browser is, takes in an email, so it signs in with a different email every time, and it takes in a password, and it's able to sign in with a different password every time. This is really helpful because it gives us a lot of flexibility with our sign-in function. So what we're going to do for search is obviously our first parameter needs to be browser, so that way our function knows what a browser is. And instead of using hard-coded phrases, we're going to just make a variable called phrase, and this is what we're going to search for every single time we call search. And so now we can get rid of this for loop because we're not going through those items anymore. And we're going to indent this correctly so that way it knows that this is part of our function. And now let's just see what's going to happen. So first it's going to go to bing.com, where there's going to be some place to search, and it's going to wait for 3 to 6 seconds so that way it's not obvious that we're a bot. And then we're going to find an element by we're going to find this search text field by XPath, and then we're going to clear that search text field, and then we're going to send what we want to search. And item doesn't exist anymore, but now we have phrase. So we're going to search for a phrase. We're going to put in phrase inside of that search text field, and then we're going to press enter. So now we don't even need to click the search button because pressing enter will search for whatever is in our search text field. So now we need to use our search function. It's not going to run on its own. So the correct place to put it is after we sign in, we want to search, and then we want to sign out. So what we're going to do is after the sign in function, we're going to say search, and then we're going to pass in our browser so that way our function knows what a browser is. And then we're going to just choose something random for now. So I'm just going to say hello world. So, whoops. Let's see what this is going to do. So first, it's going to open up a browser. So it's opening up Chrome, and then we're going to load up the login file, and it's going to go through each login in the login file. And first, it'll sign in using the email and password, and then it'll search for hello world, and then it's going to sign out. And it's going to do this with each account. So let's save this and see if this works as intended. Just close out of this first. And Python, bing.py, and it's going to sign in. And then bing.com, hopefully it looks for hello world. Perfect. And now it's going to sign out, and then it's going to go through each account. Let's just see if it logs in, and I think we can assume that's going to work properly from there. Awesome. So we signed in. It's going to look for hello world. And so now we can move on to our second goal for today. And our second goal is, instead of searching for hello world on each account, we want to be able to search for a random word. And so what I did was I found whoops, I'll have to pull it up. So I found a list of random words from Stack Overflow. And let me just copy it for you guys. Yep, so this is the URL, and it's just a whole bunch of words in alphabetical order, and it's really long. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna press Control A. We're gonna highlight everything. Dang, I'm lagging really hard. All right, we're gonna copy everything. Hopefully that copied. And then we're gonna make a new file called words.txt, and we're gonna paste everything inside of here. So I'll just do it with you guys. My computer is totally bugging right now. Let me just quit out of this. And whoops. This is uncalled for. And we're going to paste this. So now we have a gigantic list of words in our text file, words.txt. And we're going to save this before we go. And we've opened text files before, and we did that with the logins.txt. So let's do this again with words.txt. So we're going to start with a variable called words, and we're going to open the file using the built-in function open. And then in this first parameter, we're going to have to put in the name of the text file, so words.txt, and then the mode we're going to read it in, or the mode we're going to be in, which is read. And then we're going to read this file, so it'll give it to us as a string. And then, as you'll notice, each word is split up into a different line. So we can split it by line. So split and \n, which is going to give us which just means new line. So now we have a words, which is now a gigantic array of every single word in words.txt. And to access each word in words, we just have to say words. And then in these brackets is going to be the index of the word. So to access the first word in words, it's 0. To access the second word, it's 1, 2, 3, etc. And let's use it down here. So instead of looking for hello world every time, we want to generate a random word from words. So we're going to say words, and then now in here, we're going to want to generate a random number. And we've done this before. In our search function, we wait for a random time between 3 and 6 seconds, and randint is able to generate us a number between 3 and 6. And let's use randint here, so that way we can generate a random number between the first word and the last word of words. So we're going to say randint, and then the first element is obviously going to be 0. That's going to be our first word that could be possibly generated. And the last word that could be possibly generated is going to be the the last element, or we can get that by using the length of our words. And we need to say -1 because we're starting at 0, and since we're not starting at 1, everything's going to be one index behind. So that's why we have to say len words -1, because if we don't say len words -1, it's going to go out of bounds. Like it just won't have that word in as the index. So let's just see if this works as intended. It should go through, it should log us in, it should look for a random word, log out, and it'll do that with every single account. So let's just run it. Python bing.py. And all right, we're signing in, going to bing.com, and now we should be looking for something random. Shallot. Cannot have guessed that. And we're going to log out. Sorry if you can't see that. And it should sign in, and let's see if it looks for a different random word this time. So it's going to sign in, and now it's going to go to bing.com, hopefully, and look for another random word. Main. Awesome. So it's able to generate these random words, and that's really helpful because now now Bing doesn't know that we're a bot. We're just interested in shallots and main. So one last thing is, instead of searching for just one word, let's actually search for a couple words every single time we log in. So like maybe we want to search for like 5 things this time. So we're going to make a for loop, and we're going to say for I in range 4. And what this will let us do is it'll let us make 4 searches. So it'll go through I as 1 first, then it'll go through as 2, then it'll go through as 3, then it'll go through as 4. So it's going to be able to loop through 4 times. And we want to indent this so that way we know it's part of our for loop. And let's give this a run. And what it should do is it should sign in, and then it should search for 4 items, and then it should sign us out. And it should do this on every single account. So let's see if that works as intended. So Python bing.py. And first we're going to go to the login page, log in, just focus this, and then should search for something random. I almost searched for Forever 21. Forever, and then this one, it should be something else random. Maltreat. Now there's 2 more it should search for. Vehement, and now it should have 1 more search. So this one should be Ceylon, and we've made our 4 searches, and now we're signing out. Perfect, exactly as we intended. So thanks for watching, guys. Like and subscribe if you want to see more content from me. And if you guys have any questions or suggestions or requests, leave them in the comments below. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.